Some of the worst food dangers are probably sitting in your storage or fridge as we speak. Food is great, enjoyable, and necessary for our survival. From exciting colors, aromas, and textures, food can be an absolute delight. But if mishandled, prepared wrongly, or simply unhygienic, it can cause hours of excruciating pain, which can even lead to death. Generally, humans love to try out varieties of food, especially when traveling. However, before digging into that scrumptious-looking exotic delicacy, here's a food for thought. You may want to think twice, as some foods may be more foe than friend. From deadly toxins and sneaky allergens to poisonous proteins, we will expose the most unsafe foods to eat. Please take a quick moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Help us hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers at the end of the year. Now, on to the culinary culprits. Number 1. Casu marzu. At the top spot, we have casu marzu, a type of cheese that originates from an island in Italy, Sardinia. This cheese is not one you would want spread on your toast, as it is made from sheep's milk and intentionally infested with live maggots to decompose the cheese for that extra fermentation. Yum? More like yuck. Eating this puts you at a risk of so many bacterial infections such as E. coli, salmonella, and listeria, which the maggots can be carriers of. It can also cause diarrhea, vomiting, and abdominal pains. Sometimes the maggots remain in the cheese and may jump out and get into the eye. This can cause eye infections such as conjunctivitis. The worst part of it all is that sometimes the maggots survive the passage through the digestive system and chew on your intestines, boring holes into it, which can cause a very serious health problem. No wonder this cheese is banned by the European Union and the US government and considered illegal. Want some cheese? Number 2. Nutmegs. You probably have a nice jar of nutmeg sitting in your pantry right now. Nutmegs are the perfect spice for baking. Sprinkle a little bit of it into a dish and it gives it an amazing aroma and taste. But if you take even as much as a teaspoon, you can get high on it. And it's not the fun kind. Nutmeg contains myristicin, a narcotic with nasty side effects that, if ingested, can cause hallucinations, nausea, irregular heartbeat, disorientation, and dizziness. If taken in larger quantities, it can lead to organ failure. Pregnant women are advised to steer clear of nutmegs as they can cause birth defects or miscarriages. Be careful with that recipe. Number 3. Fugu. There is a reason why this Japanese delicacy is the most poisonous food in the world. It can kill within hours. Fugu is a food made from pufferfish. This fish contains lethal amounts of tetrodotoxin, a poison 1,200 times more deadly than cyanide, in its organs, especially its eyes, liver, brains, ovaries, and intestines. It secretes this poison to dispel predators, and one fugu has enough poison to kill 30 people, but does anything ever stop humans? Japanese chefs have to go through years of thorough training to get a special license to prepare and serve this dish. These chefs must know the fish like the back of their hand and prepare the fugu exactly right. Eating fugu that wasn't prepared properly, even a tiny slice will paralyze the victim's muscles even while alive, and then the victim would die from respiratory paralysis as they would be unable to breathe. This poison has no antidote. It's a solid no. Number 4. Peppers. Okay, fine. While this one won't kill you, probably, peppers can be dangerous, especially if ingested in large quantities. Peppers contain a chemical called capsaicin. It is what makes them spicy. They are safe to consume in small quantities, but if eaten in large quantities, this can cause the lungs to constrict and be inflamed, causing difficulty in breathing, wheezing, shortness of breath, and chest tightness. Most peppers used in cooking like jalapenos and habanero are super safe. But hot peppers such as chilies and dragon breath that contain higher levels of capsaicin are dangerous. Hold off on that pepper eating contest, okay? Number 5. Sanakji. This is a traditional Korean dish of live baby octopus served raw, lightly seasoned, and served with sesame oil. This may sound to adventurous diners as fascinating, however, this dish can kill if it isn't consumed properly. The octopus pieces are still moving around in the plate as it is served raw, and if it isn't chewed properly, the muscle memory of the octopus can be triggered and cause the suction on the tentacles to latch onto the throat. This can cause obstruction and will eventually cause the diner to choke to death. Enjoy your culinary adventures, but remember to chew and swallow very carefully. Number 6. Hot dogs. Remembering the sound of the sizzling grill and the savory smell of hot dogs wafting through the air is enough to make you give this video a side eye. But beneath the deliciousness of this snack lies dangers that could be wreaking havoc on your health. Aside from being the most processed and most questionable meat, hot dogs are the leading cause of choking deaths in children. Hot dogs are also linked to cancer as they contain sodium nitrate, heart diseases, and diabetes due to their high content of processed meat. If not properly cooked or stored, hot dogs harbor harmful bacteria like Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli. You may want to consider this while biting into the snack. Number 7. Ackee fruit. This fruit has only one rule: never, ever open it up by yourself. The ackee is the national fruit of Jamaica, a delicious creamy fruit that can push you into a coma if eaten incorrectly. When unripe, this fruit contains a toxin known as hypoglycin. If it is ingested, it can cause the Jamaican vomiting sickness, characterized by severe vomiting, dehydration, seizures, and even death if eaten in large quantities. When the fruit is fully ripe, it opens up naturally on the tree itself, and only then can it be safe for eating. Even at that, you must only eat the cream-colored pulp around the seeds. Avoid eating the seeds and the pink parts on the fruit, as these are highly poisonous. Imagine being killed by a pretty fruit. Number 8. Elderberry. Tasty, super healthy, and the perfect addition to pies, elderberries are a superfood. However, this dark, juicy fruit has a sinister side to it. Elderberries contain cyanide, a dangerous toxic substance. Elderberries need to be processed correctly or properly cooked before they are safe for consumption. Eating unripe or wrongly prepared elderberries will lead to cyanide poisoning, which causes nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. So while it is most definitely a healthy snack, make sure you're eating a rightly prepared one. Number 9. Monkey brains. I know you're probably wondering if this is even a real thing. Yes, it is, and some people eat this. Monkey brains are a delicacy in some parts of China, Southeast Asia, and Africa. It is a rare dish, often served as a treat, regarded as a luxury due to its unique texture and flavor. It is often served raw, sautéed, or grilled. Aside from it being gross, monkey brains are deadly. They can transmit life-threatening diseases like herpes B, simian immunodeficiency virus, SIV, and the fatal Ebola virus. That's not all, as eating this unusual treat can lead to a rare and fatal brain disorder called the Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. A hard pass. Number 10. Kidney beans. Surprised? We know. Legumes, an excellent source of protein, vitamins, and fiber, are good for you until they are not. Kidney beans contain a plant protein known as phytohemagglutinin when they are in their raw form or when undercooked. This plant protein is toxic to humans as it causes red blood cells to clump together, leading to severe food poisoning, and it can also damage the guts. Kidney beans must be prepared correctly to avoid this. Soaking the beans and then boiling them till perfectly cooked can help prevent this. However, if eaten raw or undercooked, one might need to take an unpleasant trip to the hospital. Number 11. Shellfish. These ocean delights are very popular in restaurants and hospitals. Shellfish is the most common and top among the deadliest food allergies. One bite of this can be fatal to those who are allergic with severe reactions like anaphylaxis, which can kill if it isn't treated quickly. You may think you're safe because you aren't allergic to shellfish. I hate to break it to you, but shellfish can still harm you. Quite fatally, might I add. Shellfish can harbor harmful bacteria, parasites, microbes, and viruses. They also absorb harmful pollutants like mercury, lead, and PCBs from the sea, especially when they are eaten raw, which is why raw oysters are not advisable. They especially contain a deadly bacteria called Vibrio, which can cause bloodstream infections, diarrhea, and even death. This is why it is advisable to cook your shellfish properly and avoid raw and undercooked shellfish, and if allergic, avoid them altogether. Number 12. Cassava. Beneath its seemingly harmless exterior, there is a reason why this food is called the root of evil. Okay, maybe it's not, but cassavas are silent killers. The root and the leaves contain a deadly amount of cyanide, and to prevent poisoning, cassava must be prepared properly, and that's exactly where the danger lies. There are two types of cassava, the sweet cassava and the bitter one. Sweet cassava contains a lower amount of cyanide and requires just a simple boiling to bring the toxin level to safe. However, the bitter cassava must first be grated, soaked, and then boiled before it is safe for consumption, as it contains sky-high levels of the dangerous toxin. The problem is, these two types of cassava are hard to differentiate, and so nearly 30 people die each year from preparing the wrong cassava the wrong way. Oops! Number 13. Namibian bullfrog. The chances of you being killed by a frog are slim, but never zero. Frog legs are a very common tasty treat that is enjoyed by people from all over the world, especially the French. However, in some southern African nations, especially Namibia, they prefer to eat the whole frog. This doesn't sound much like a problem, only that it is. The flesh of the Namibian bullfrog, a staple cuisine in the country, is ridden with a deadly neurotoxin, bufatoxin, that is fatal to humans. Ingesting even a small part of this dangerous amphibian can lead to kidney failure, full-blown paralysis, and death. Several cases of poisoning have been reported in Namibia and other neighboring countries. Does this stop them from eating this? No. Number 14. Mushrooms. When ordering pizza, you probably request mushroom as the perfect topping. You just may have ordered a silent assassin onto your plate. Mushrooms are a very popular ingredient in the culinary world, and while many species are very safe for consumption, others can kill you in hours. Before you pick that mushroom growing in your backyard, remember that wild mushrooms are the deadliest. They contain deadly poison that causes liver failure, abdominal pain, intense thirst, coma, and even death. The top 3 most poisonous mushrooms in the world are the death cap, destroying angel, and the false morel. By their names, you would do well to steer clear from these and leave the mushroom handling to the professionals. Number 15. Cherry seeds and apple seeds. Juicy cherry and tasty apples are all in all a healthy snack. You may want to avoid their seeds though, and here's why. Enclosed within these seemingly harmless seeds is a deadly toxin that can cause serious harm when ingested. Cherry seeds and apple seeds contain a naturally occurring compound known as amygdalin, which when ingested can release cyanide, one of the most dangerous poisons known to man. This poison can cause dizziness, seizures, coma, and even death. Always remember as you bite into that juicy nourishment to spit out the seeds. You, your body, and your life will be grateful for that. Number 16. Raw meat. This should be a no-brainer. Raw or undercooked meat has been preached against since the beginning of time due to the many health risks it poses. Raw meat contains a multitude of harmful pathogens that can cause severe food poisoning, and in some cases, life-threatening complications such as kidney failure or even death. Foods such as tartar and rare steak are advised against because they can harbor these harmful pathogens because they are undercooked. Pork meat in particular is a concern as it harbors Trichinella parasites that can cause muscle pain and heart problems. Always make sure your meat is properly cooked before eating. Number 17. Starfruit. This colorful, unique, and tasty fruit is the perfect addition to a lovely bowl of fruit salad, but beware as it can be quite deadly. Starfruit contains a toxin called caramboxin, which can be fatal, especially for people with underlying kidney problems. Yes, not everyone is susceptible to its poison, as a normal functioning kidney can filter out the toxin, but still, eating large amounts of this shiny fruit can cause mild discomfort and illness. People with kidney problems, however, must steer clear from this fruit, as eating even a little piece of it can cause major damage to their health, including kidney failure, mental confusion, seizures, and even death. Number 18. Fisique. Traveling can be a delight, but travelers must be careful of the delicacies they try out. Fisique is a traditional Egyptian fish dish of fermented, salted, and dried grey mullet. It doesn't sound bad, yeah. Problem is, the grey mullet is a poisonous saltwater fish. The preparation of this dish is rigorous, as the fish needs to be prepared properly and the poison removed. Incorrect preparation of this dish can lead to bouts of food poisoning and death. Over 20 people have died from eating this delicacy. Diners beware. Number 19. Ekizan courage. This rare and exotic Japanese delicacy is one you would want to avoid, as it can kill within 5 minutes if it isn't prepared correctly. The Ekizan courage is a dish of Nomura's jellyfish, a large jellyfish with an incredibly potent venom that keeps it at the top of the most dangerous marine animals list. Japanese chefs take care to remove every drop of poison, and it must be cooked for it to be eaten without much risk. Never, ever eat this raw. If not properly prepared, this dish can release a toxin inside a human that can cause cardiac arrest, respiratory failure, and eventually death. All under 5 minutes. Number 20. Hakarl. An Icelandic delicacy prepared from a species of shark, Greenland shark, that must be buried in sand and pit, fermented, and then dried before eating. This process takes 6 months, and by the time this meal is ready, you would be needing both hands to eat it. One to hold your fork and the other to hold your nose. Aside from the pungent stench of this food, the shark used as meat has no urinary tract, and so it passes waste through its flesh. This makes the meat toxic because it contains trimethylamine oxide, which is noted to cause vomiting, nausea, and even kidney failure. During the fermentation process, the meat can grow harmful bacteria, which makes it a breeding ground for food poisoning. This should be a hard pass, as the cons outweigh the pros with this dish. Let us know in the comments section below which meals you have tried and won't be trying. If you found this video interesting, kindly subscribe to our channel and help us hit our target of getting 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you for watching.